Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry for that interruption. So I'm gonna be talking to you a little bit about nutrition when it comes to beverages. And I know a lot of people really love soda. I've actually never been one of those people. I just don't like the way it tastes. But if you are someone who does have a soda habit, or any sort of sweet beverage, could be Starbucks or something like that. It's something that you really want to kind of cut back on for your health and fitness journey. I know the drinks at Starbucks, I know you can modify them to be a little bit more healthier. They do carry, generally speaking, someone who's worked there in the past, they do carry a lot of extra calories, and a lot of them can have a meal's worth of calories, and that could be a big deal in your health and fitness plan. If you are someone who's trying to lose weight and you've hit a plateau, or you're really struggling, that could be something that is holding you back. So another reason you kind of want to limit your soda intake is because it has a lot of added sugar, a lot of processed sugar, a lot of processed junk, chemicals. And so I know it's soda, like candy, it could be very addicting. And so it's really important that you don't just try to quit cold turkey. If you really think you can do that, then by all means try to. But generally speaking, for most people, you'll need a transition. And there's all kinds of different flavored water out there. So you could start with that. And then there's also water additives. I know there's a product called Stir, and it's a stevia-based sweetener that you can add to your water. They also have caffeine-based ones that really work well in any ice beverage. You can put it in your purse. You could take it out with you if you feel the need to order something when you're out eating. It's something that you can squirt into your water, and it tastes really good. So that's an option. For me personally, I drink coffee every day. I try to limit it to 1 cup in the morning because I'm not a morning person, but I need to wake up in the morning because I have to go to work. If you're someone who puts a lot of cream and sugar, I'm not someone who could go with black coffee personally. I have really bad acid reflux. So yeah, that just wouldn't really work too well. But what I do is from Walmart or Safeway or any local grocery store, most grocery stores will sell a non-dairy based creamer. Some popular ones are soy based or almond milk based ones. Some of them there's coconut milk based creamers. So you kind of want to maybe switch to that instead of adding a bunch of heavy cream and a bunch of granulated sugar. Maybe you swap that out for something a little bit less calories and that's a little bit better for you. That's what I do. I have a Silk almond based creamer in my fridge that I just add maybe a teaspoon to it, and that works for my coffee. And throughout the day, I'm someone who likes to stay awake, and I know a lot of people probably drink Coke and Diet Coke for the same reason. Stay awake. I drink iced tea for the caffeine to kind of keep me awake throughout the day. And I know that there is a little bit of extra calories there because generally I like to have personally a little bit of sweetener to my iced tea. But lately I've been really trying to make my own iced tea at home. I have a pitcher that I put outside on my balcony since it's been really hot, and I've made my own sun tea. I just stick a tea bag in the pitcher overnight, and it's usually ready the next day. And instead of adding granulated sugar, I try to add agave, maple, honey, coconut sugar, anything like that that's low glycemic and isn't gonna be spiking your insulin levels. And you don't want all that granulated processed sugar either. So that's a better sugar alternative, and it's a better alternative to make your iced teas from home versus buying it bottled or at like the fast food restaurant or something like that. So you really want to go that route. There's all kinds of different tumblers and bottles that you can use for that, and it's really helpful that you can take it around with you. I personally really like my sun tea. Another thing you can do is infuse water. You can buy a pitcher that has an infuser, and you can infuse tea. You can infuse fruit, and it's really good. I tend to switch up from strawberries to citrus. I've tried basil. I've tried watermelon. Any kind of different fruit you can cut up and add to your pitcher and make your water a little bit more interesting. A lot of people I know don't like to drink water, and water is so important for so many different reasons, so you really want to make sure that you get enough water. Especially for us women, we're more prone to having urinary tract infections as a result of dehydration, so you really want to make sure that you're getting enough water, not only for your weight loss but for health reasons as well. That's really so important, so you want to make sure you're getting enough water in there and trying to cut back on those sugary, caloric-filled beverages. You want to try and cut back on those as much as you can. But yeah, as I mentioned before, I know a lot of us can't just do it cold turkey, so you can transition. You try flavored water. Maybe you do an iced tea or something like that. But when you do buy bottled beverages, I like to go to Sprouts. You want to make sure to read that label. A lot of labels will say 60 calories, but it'll also say 2 servings, so you're really getting 120 calories in a bottle, right? And they have a lot of added sugar and stuff, so you want to be mindful of that too. Sometimes I buy the bottles for work, but I have to be really careful about the sugar content and the amount of calories that's in there, so that way I don't offset my nutrition program and mess that up. And I know a lot of people will say that, oh, you know, I can't afford to eat healthy. And contrary to popular belief, I know a lot of people think, oh, you know, I could just go to McDonald's and it's so much cheaper. When you think about the cost of that Big Mac, it's usually like $5 or $6. It's actually not that cheap. If you have staples, and as someone who for a long period of time hasn't had a lot of money, there are all kinds of different hacks to that. A lot of different staples that you can use for cheap, and some big ones are rice, beans, chicken, big meal staples that are really healthy. And personally, if you have a Sprouts near you, it's like a cheap version of Whole Foods. I love Sprouts so much. The produce is cheaper than Walmart, than Safeway, than pretty much every other grocer that I've been to. So I really try and go and get my produce at Sprouts. They always have some sort of special going on. I've walked out of the grocery store spending less than $50 every week, and I'm eating really healthy, and I'm not having to spend all kinds of money. Winco is also really good with that. They have affordable produce. And Grocery Outlet, I know it's mostly a West Coast based chain, but Grocery Outlet is amazing for that too. It's an outlet store. And another alternative, if you are limited at, if you don't have too many options as far as grocery stores around you, frozen foods are also amazing as well. I have a family of 2, so when I buy a lot of fruits and veggies, things tend to go bad very quickly. So frozen is not only inexpensive, but it also lasts a lot longer too. So that's something to keep in mind, and it goes a really long way. And so when you have the frozen veggies, you can make all kinds of different things with those too. A lot of people think, oh, well, do I need to go organic to be healthy? No, you don't need to go organic in order to be healthy. That's a big personal choice. If you can afford to do that, then by all means definitely do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't afford organic, another alternative to that is you can buy a fruit and veggie wash to wash your produce with, to wash all those chemicals on there. If you're really concerned about that, that's also an option. That's something that I've done, and it works just as well. So that is a big thing to keep in mind as far as frozen produce. And yeah, so there's all kinds of different things that you can make on the cheap. I know there's a huge misconception is, a lot of people are, oh, I can't afford to eat healthy. And it's actually a lot cheaper. 99% of the time it's cheaper than fast food. So you just really have to know how to work it. I remember when my husband and I were in serious financial straits, and we still managed to eat it as healthy as we could. And you just really want to keep a lot of herbs and seasonings on hand, rice, beans. You can also stock up on seasonal produce. That's also a really good way to eat healthy. Produce that is in season tends to be cheaper than produce that isn't. So that's something that you also want to keep in mind as far as your health and fitness goals. And so yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have today for nutrition. If there's any questions, there's anything that you're struggling with, anything that you need help on, maybe you need some recipe ideas or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a message down below in the comments. That would be great. And I will see you guys tomorrow when I talk about fitness. Okay, bye.